Whoa, what? Why are we renovating the cafeteria?
And do you want to blend, sip, and chill? I'm your host, Isabel.
And I'm your co-host, Alex.
And today we're joined by Seth.
Let's get up front.
So today we're joined by our lovely guest, Seth. Hi,
Yeah.
Seth.
I'm
How
Seth.
are you?
I'm so good. I'm ecstatic right now, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, how long have you been a part of the team here?
I started as a staff writer in, I think it was probably fall of 2021.
Okay.
So it's been a while,
Mm-hmm.
but,
Seth is our lead
managing editor.
managing editor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you worked with one of the teachers that I work with in the math department. I think her name is Debbie.
Oh yeah, Debbie Martin. She's cool.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah. So, I guess we're getting right into it. What's the deal with the cafeteria?
Well, they basically started renovation over the summer of 2022 because it had been closed due to COVID, and for a lot of reasons they renovated it. And initially it was supposed to open in the fall of 2022, but they ran into issues with the design process, which was meant to take place over the summer of that.
Of the year 22?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't even start with the design until way later than they were supposed to be. And so the design, the construction was supposed to be finished fall of 2022, but they had only finished the design by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So when did the process begin? Was it in COVID, or was during COVID it was still an idea that was floating around?
So it had started even before COVID. They were kind of thinking about it because the cafeteria is, it had been seeing a sort of decline in its usage patterns over the years. Fewer people were using it, which meant that it was costing the college more money. And so they had gone to a conference actually in 2019 where at the conference, one of the things they talked about was the expansion of grab-and-go options and stuff that is, that smaller schools were doing that's more affordable to the school.
Yeah, and easier access too, right?
Right. Well, it's really, they had full-time staff who were running the cafeteria like a normal cafeteria.
Wow.
But they had seen reduced usage. And so the idea was that if they had a grab-and-go model, then they wouldn't need to...
a complete staff.
Yeah, they wouldn't need as much staff, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm getting that at the same exact time, there was also another project that was happening in the schedule. So that's why they were kind of, going back and forth. Is that...
Right. That happened a little later. So in 2023, they had decided to do the renovation.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that renovation, they needed to change some of the HVAC equipment in the area. And those projects were sort of tied together because the HVAC equipment was outdated. And so that project, because there was a specific piece of equipment that they were trying to get and they couldn't get it, that project had been delayed a lot. And so that then delayed the cafe project because they needed the state-funded mechanical project to be able to complete the cafe project.
Yeah. And so I'm reading about this, and they're also talking about it was slowed down to basically reduce the noise for the other events that are being hosted in the area. Is that...
Yeah, so I had heard that from multiple people, but essentially the idea was that, if they're not going to be able to open the cafeteria anyways because of this state-funded mechanical project, then it's not that important that they go super fast. And so if there's an event going on, then they can kind of work with the contractor to reduce noise levels for that event.
In 22, were there still COVID restrictions in the spring on campus?
No, by 2022, they had lifted. They could do, at least in regards to like dining. Fall of 22, they were basically A-okay in as far as that goes.
Yeah. And so I saw on the website that it still promotes as closed until spring of 23.
Right.
But that doesn't seem feasible at this point, right?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, right, it looks pretty complete. And, from a conversation that I overheard, I was eavesdropping on people there who were talking about this. They mentioned, this was last week, I want to say last Thursday. They had said that they were going to start ordering stuff and like food and other stuff that they need to stock on the shelves. They were going to start ordering that like very soon, right? Like they probably already ordered it. And then it's going to start being stocked over spring break. And then maybe, none of them committed to this. Like I said, this is just a conversation that I overheard, but it might end up being finished after spring break, or at least some of it will be open. I don't know if it'll be fully functional at that point, but it should be a sort of a soft open without full functionality.
That makes sense. I saw a bunch of delivery trucks, like Coca-Cola delivery trucks.
Yeah, I think
yesterday. Actually,
when I was using the bathroom not too long ago, I saw someone with a bunch of boxes, kind of go in an exit area over there. I'm not too sure. I think it could be like they might be starting.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, basically the huge thing I'm reading off of this, which once again, if you guys want to go ahead and check this out, it's on the front page, frcc.com, where we have many others, great articles that you can come and check out. But the main thing that I was reading off of this is, I mean, this is huge, but $1.2 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is, for me, that's insane.
Especially at community college.
Exactly.
To put it in perspective, the budget of the entire college, so that's all tuition, all state support, everything, is about $100 to $110-ish million a year.
Wow. And
so that's, maybe more than like 1% of the yearly budget is that $1.2 million renovation.
Yeah. But it hadn't been running well for a while, right? It had been neglected for a long time.
Yeah, that's sort of the other thing that they said is, I mentioned, even if this, the thing I said in my email to Tricia Johnson, who's the vice president of the Westminster campus, is the example I used was, even if the cafeteria was costing $100,000 a year in operating costs, then it would still take 12 years to recoup that $1.2 million loss. The thing that it wasn't actually her who said this, it was the managing architect of the school, or of FRCC, said that the renovation might have needed to happen anyways, because there was so much that was broken. There were, walk-in coolers, so the walk-in coolers / freezers need to be replaced. The gas piping was leaking. Seems pretty bad. Yeah. The 2 makeup air units that provided heating and cooling to the kitchen had failed beyond repair. Yeah. And that's just what they knew about beforehand. Supposedly, after they began construction, they found even more defects that needed to be fixed. And so, how much would it have cost to just fix those problems? It's not clear, but there was a lot wrong with the cafeteria. So they probably couldn't have just brought it back without any renovation. Maybe it would have been cheaper, but that's sort of eating into that you know, if it was going to cost $500,000 maybe to renovate anyways, well, suddenly it's sort of like the new cafeteria or the new cafe is really only costing, you know, maybe $700,000 if you think about it in terms of like an opportunity cost kind of thing.
Yeah. And also it makes a lot more sense, right, with the grab and go model versus it looks like it was like a restaurant type of thing, right, where you could order sandwiches and have people. Well, you said they had a full staff.
I think they had 2 staff members, and they probably had part-time staff as well. But it was sort of like, you know, it looked a lot like any like high school cafeteria would.
Yeah. Did you get to use it?
No, I didn't. It was closed when I started here because fall of 2021 was my first semester here, in person at least, and so I was closed.
Yeah, it was already closed down.
Yeah, I've only just arrived here last year, so this is only my second semester. So, you know, I obviously never got to use the cafeteria, but I'm very intrigued and interested to see, you know, when it's all finished, you know how the kids here are really going to utilize it. And I think the big thing is that new machine that they're going to have.
Oh yeah,
the blend, sip, and chill machine, which is the the
Alex
real,
won't stop
right?
talking about this yogurt machine.
Yes, that's the for real machine, right? Is
that? I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, I mean, when you look at the pictures, it looks basically like a convenience store, and I think it pretty much is a convenience store. But that's, yeah, they're going to have that frozen yogurt and smoothie machine, you know.
Have you tried those yogurts, the for real yogurts?
I have not.
You can find them at the gas station.
At the gas station,
yeah.
I
looked one up.
Yeah, because I looked the whole machine up and I was reading about it, and I mean, it makes, you know, whatever you want in less than a minute. And so I think that's really convenient because, you know, you don't want kids obviously, you know, standing there at the machine waiting like 10 minutes for their, you know, frozen yogurt to be made. Like less than a minute is fast. And I guess the sanitization or
sanitization.
Yeah, the sanitization. Yeah, that is, I'm sorry, I was stumbling on the word. That's a good blooper. But that in general I heard is like also the big thing about it is it can supposedly clean itself. Yeah. With the machine, which I think is crucial because obviously with COVID.
And that's one of those things that they've sort of focused on is reducing the amount of staff that they need, right?
Yeah.
And so they're going to have, you know, a pizza oven. They're going to have, you know, hot dogs and chicken tenders, and, you know, they're going to have food that's like hot and ready to eat.
Yeah, I mean, we have some of the pictures here actually.
Right.
So there it is right there. That's one of the pictures, and I think if I can bring it up here, we can take a look at some of the other pictures. Here's some of the pictures. I mean, as you can tell, it does say 2022, which, you know, it's not correct, obviously, but I mean, yeah, by the pictures, 1.2 mil.
This looks like a come and go.
It does.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a convenience store.
So is it supposed to have a walk-in freezer that you walk in?
I don't think so.
I mean, so Isabel, and I kind of want to get your opinion on this too, Seth, but from these pictures, right, does this look like a 1.2 million renovation to you?
Yes.
You know, I mean,
look at the circles, dude.
Yeah, circles.
Right. Like if you're asking, like, do I believe them that it costs that much money? Yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. Like, I don't think they're embezzling any money or anything. Mm-hmm. But
ooh, conspiracy.
Oh yeah, there's a conspiracy.
The shade.
But
let's all just take a moment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, I'm sure it did cost a lot, and, you know, you have to understand that, like, what business stuff is usually, or like commercial grade stuff is usually pretty expensive, right? And like, I don't know how much like just that soft serve machine would cost, but like, you know,
well, that machine right there, it's only the medium sized machine,
Mm.
because I know they have like a larger machine, but that machine, it's still touchscreen, I believe. I think that is fully
I
touchscreen.
think
Probably, right?
I think a majority of the budget went to these actors. This is real life actors. Like, she's acting like she's interested.
Yeah, well, they half the money went to building a full-time set. So they built a whole setup.
Is she itching her back, or is her hand broken? What's going on there?
I think
What do you
she's
mean?
like trying.
She's leaning over.
Yeah, she wants to see
Well, no,
them at
but
eye level.
The hand, like her left hand, why does it look really weird?
That's a bag.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's
That's a
a bag,
bag.
dude.
Looks like, I'm sorry, that looks
Have
like your
you not
hand.
seen your average American woman? We've looked. That's a bag.
I thought that was her
She
hand
wants
for a
to see
second.
the Pringles at eye level. Okay,
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
I mean, I can already kind of read, that menu over there. I do see hot dogs. Yeah, I see.
When you're giant, you just
Yeah, when you're like when you're 8 feet tall like her, you can't even read the logo. It's so far away.
yeah, like I said, I see some of the stuff already. You have hot dogs on the list.
Mhm.
Pizza is going to be there. Like you said, it kind of does look like a come and go, or a 7-Eleven especially, because I see that most gas stations.
Oh, you
have
see that
those
they have a
machines.
menu.
That's what
Yeah.
I was talking about. Yeah,
And I don't know that the menu. I'd be very, very surprised if the prices are final. I think,
the
they
hot dog. I think this is $2. So I mean, not
Yeah.
bad.
I wonder if they're gonna set up like a student account sort of thing, where you can just like bill your student account.
I would assume so.
I think it's just going to be like the coffee den or the student store. I think you're just going to
What
pay.
about the eWolf card? Are they going to make that? Could be something where you might swipe that. Is that like a?
I don't
That
think it
would
has a
be so
magnetic
much easier.
strip in it.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Because I'm thinking, I mean, obviously, past through high school and through middle school, you obviously had your
Right.
accounts where
And you had to put in your
you
student
Yeah.
put in
number.
your PIN. Like maybe they'd make you put in.
And
your
you're waiting in
student
line,
number.
and there's a kid in front of you who's like keeps messing it up, and it's like, dude, come on.
Exactly. And the lady just says, "For today, just
Do
go."
you guys still
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
your student numbers?
Oh
from-
yeah, it's still my password.
Yeah,
It is my
me
password.
too.
My-
It's
Yeah.
always been my
My
password.
email account.
It's I mean, why
Well,
not?
it's a
Like,
long number that I'm going to remember forever. So
Mine was
Yeah.
pretty short. It was. I'm not going to tell it.
Elementary school.
how many
messed up.
characters was it?
6.
6. Yeah, it was 6.
Yeah, mine was also 6.
But I put something else in front of my number for my password. But
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't go into detail about what my email
No, you
password
should.
is.
Yeah,
Why don't you
this is
tell
my
us?
password, guys. Like,
Yeah, so but I put in my my old student number from high school. I put that in, and then I also have my current FRCC student number in there as well. So there's like a lot of numbers in that passcode.
So my only other take here is we have quite a few vending machines around this school, but it looks like most of these items they have here on the picture would cancel out you even having to go use the vending machine.
Well, I'm
And
actually
is prices going to be different? Because I see you have a can of Coke there, but like if you wanted to get like a normal Coke out of a vending machine, is there going to be a price difference?
And like just I'm pretty sure that the items on the shelves are just for demonstrative purposes only. I don't think
Yeah,
they're actually going to
also-
have a whole shelf full of like
Coca-Cola.
50 cans of warm Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's why I'm really intrigued to see when it opens.
I think the vending machines will stay because I don't
Yeah.
think people want to walk all the way to.
And I mean, you have to think about it, right? They've already got a lot of that stuff at the Wolf Cafe and the Wolf Den. What do they call it? I don't know. The coffee
mean that
den.
over
The
there?
coffee den. They call it the coffee den. There's like soda and stuff there.
Yeah, they have the refrigerator that
Right.
was full with it. I remember it was funny because actually the first time I came here, it was like my first day of school. I walked past it and my first take was like, oh, they have a freezer over there with soda. Like, is that for just kids to grab and drink?
Just like
And then
for
I
free.
realized I was like, no, you can't just walk up and grab
Dude,
it. Like,
I'm
you're
so
gonna have
glad
to
you
pay.
didn't just walk up and take.
Well,
the
I
sodas.
know they have a sign on it that says you have to pay for this up front.
Right.
Same goes with like if you're getting
Up
like
front.
yeah, right up front. Same thing if you have to like you want a sandwich or something, you have to obviously pay.
So, what does this new dining area mean for the coffee den?
the coffee den is definitely still going to be there, but its original purpose, the coffee den, was for drinks, right? It was for, well, coffee, right?
Yeah,
It's meant to be like kind of a Starbucks thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But because the cafeteria has been closed for so long, it's become like the only place where you can get food on campus,
Yeah.
right? And there's issues with that, right? There's, they recently put a sign on the microwave that says, don't wait in line here. There's 4 microwaves in the rotunda.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's where you're expected to be eating. That's like where the food is supposed to be happening. But because the cafeteria has been closed for so long, and people need to eat food, their only option is the coffee den. And so I think you'll see, it's sort of, I think the coffee den has adapted to the environment that we currently have, to be able to feed students, but that was never what it was supposed to be doing. And the people there are doing their best, but it's just not what they're set up to do, right? All they can really offer is like sandwiches or frozen food, and they have a microwave, and you can say, well, you can heat it up, right? That's the best they can do.
So have you ever heard of an incident where someone had broken the microwave? Have you ever heard anything about that?
I don't think I have. And microwaves are kind of one of those appliances that is like,
Because honestly, I just feel like a lot of times students don't like know how to really operate a microwave. Maybe I feel like maybe that's just passed from like in high school, because when I was in high school, like every day it almost felt like the microwave was broken.
Broken or like just full of garbage and smelling bad?
No, it was broken, like fully broken. Like I feel like people
I
might
didn't even know that you could break a microwave.
Yeah.
How do you?
Well,
What are you doing, Alex?
you maybe like burn something in there, or I feel like just like maybe I guess I should have said like, has anyone ever burnt anything in the microwave?
Right.
Like,
I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but and that would probably be something that would be alleviated by this, right? Because they're going to have actual equipment. They designed the building kind of around the menu, right? They started with, okay, well, what kind of food do we want to offer to students? And then they said, what kind of equipment do we need to be able to prepare that food, right? And so they have the little hot dog rollers.
Yeah. Do you think they did they ask students what they want? Like
they did. They did a survey, they changed some of their plans in relation to that survey that they did.
I think that's actually kind of perfect.
Yeah.
I always think it's like,
What were the options on the survey?
I mean, hot dog was probably one of them, right?
I think it was. This is a little specific, but if I had to guess, I would say that it was probably just like, people. I'm sure there were options, and then there was probably like an other kind of like fill in your own thing.
Yeah.
And they've told me that they changed their plans to accommodate for more like fresh food, more like like they're going to offer salads, right? Where they were not originally going to do that, like freshly prepared salads.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they've changed some of their options in regards to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, well, the only other thing I was really going to touch about was when I went over there, the coffee den over there, and I was like, I'm kind of hungry. So, I wanted to get a sandwich, but it was $6.
$6 for those sandwiches. If you want to if you want an actual sandwich, because you can get a PB&J for like $1. But if you want an actual sandwich, they're like $6. It's like $5.99 or something.
Well, because I got a sandwich and I got a latte, and the latte, when I grab one today, it's my vanilla latte that I always like to grab, $4, right? And so I was expecting the sandwich to $2-3, no $6.
You can go to Wendy's and you can get a small 6-piece nugget meal for like $6.
Yeah, the $5 biggie bag used to always be my go-to for Wendy's when I was in high school, because it's $5.
Well, those aren't even sandwiches that they're making. Like,
right, yeah, those are
spot.
just like pre-prepared things like that they buy.
Yeah, exactly.
From some factory or
and
something.
I'm not going to diss on the sandwich. It's a normal basic sandwich.
Well, I don't know. I think I would diss on the sandwich. A lot of them suck.
Okay, yeah, so let me then diss on the
there's an
sandwich.
incredible...
The last sandwich I had, which was, I think it was yesterday,
sandwich.
right? Because they
the
cut it in
sandwich.
half. My right half, my right side of the half, totally fine. I had a lot of meat,
Yep.
a little bit of cheese. My left side of the half, like literally inches of meat.
Yeah.
And like a big piece of cheese.
Yeah.
Proportion wise, like they.
And that's not the people. It's not the fault of the people at the coffee den. To be clear,
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the people who
At the factory.
Yeah, wherever they manufacture the sandwiches, the
It's the
sandwich
factory.
factory.
And I was like looking at the ingredients hard because I wanted to like kind of read down on the ingredients.
Well, also,
Not that-
like, what preservatives do they have? How is it that sandwich can stay fresh for 2 weeks?
Exactly. Well, it's funny because the first time I tried to get a sandwich, I grabbed it, right? Looked like a normal sandwich to me, but then the guy actually took it out of my hands and said, "Ooh, it's frozen, so like you're gonna have to pick another one." I was like, "What?"
That probably you bite into it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. And then the other time,
He
I
said,
decided to
"Ooh."
get the sausage, like the breakfast sausage with the muffin and everything.
Like the microwave.
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't even give me a tray to microwave it in. So I was like, "Can I please get a tray?"
Dude,
for
where do
this?"
you
Like,
where do you usually get your sandwiches from?
I usually
Are you
make
more
'em-
like a homemade? Okay.
I make
If I'm
'em from home.
going sandwich, I'm doing it because it's cheaper to make a sandwich myself, and you
Yeah.
can like put it in a lunchbox. Where like there's not a lot of options in terms of like easy lunch food. Like if you
Yeah.
have like leftovers, that can work. But if you want to like prepare food for lunch, it's like a sandwich. Like.
Well, yeah. So actually, when are we gonna get an update on the cafeteria next?
So probably when it opens, we'll probably do an article going over all the food that they have there and kind of talking, ooh, are the chicken nuggets any good?
That's
are
going to be
the,
a big article right there.
Is the pizza any good?
Mm-hmm.
Might be a series. I don't know. We'll see how long. I feel like that's like a Josh thing. Josh writes a lot of
I think
food
a series
articles.
would work. You could do like a whole week where you're like week. So you do the week,
The
and then
food
day
week.
1, you eat the pizza. Write a review.
Yeah.
Day 2, another hot dog and some.
I'm gonna eat it all one day.
Yeah. So
I'm actually gonna eat all the food in that cafe. Like they're gonna have a bunch of hot dogs. I'm gonna eat all the hot dogs and all
just
the
save
pizza.
nothing for just save. Like,
Yeah, and I'm
we
not
don't
gonna
have
pay
any
for
of
it
it.
either.
All right. So yeah, we have a few events coming up when spring break ends and when we all come back from school. Starting off on April 3rd, we have the Woman of Color panel. If you guys want to know a little bit more about that, we'll be talking about that in episode 3 of our podcast. And yeah, that's going to be a very big, important one. So if you guys want to go check that out, like I said, we'll talk about it in episode 3 of the podcast. April 4th, we have the ping pong tournament. So please show up this time.
Yeah, please show up. Don't
Please
leave
show up.
Alex high and dry.
I'd like to see some faces.
You had
in the
to
game
play
room.
last time, right?
I did. Yep. And I lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably should have peeked my head back in there, but I'm pretty sure that kid who won, that kid who beat me,
Yeah.
probably didn't play against anyone else for the whole day, so he probably
Right.
won. So please, I'd like to see some faces in the game room for the ping pong tournament. Even if you don't know how to play, they're going to have some snacks in there. They had bags of chips.
What
and I
time
think
is it? Like,
some drinks.
what time is it going on?
Yeah, the tournament is going to be at 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on April 4th. So, yeah, once again, please come in there. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a few snacks in there for you. Like I said, if you don't even know how to play, it's always fun just to kind of learn it, So I'm sure.
Yeah, also spring break for our Westminster campus is from the 27th through the 31st, or more specifically the 26th through the 2nd.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, when we come back.
We'll see you guys when we come back.
Yeah, when we come back from
Or
spring
next
break.
week, actually.
Yeah, when we come back, we'll have a lot of good events. Yeah, so April 6th, you got a student awards ceremony and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, there's the events that are going to be happening when we come back from spring break.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been Upfront at Front Range Community College. Again, I'm your host, Isabel. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, at the front page, FRCC, and you can also find our links in the description. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for joining. And, yeah, this has been Upfront.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
I thought we were howling. Yeah.
What's on the Boulder campus?
They have the Sinister Bakers.
The Sinister Bakers. Why are the food service places evil? They're crooked. They're sinister. Jeez. And we've got the Coffee Den and the Wolf Cafe. They've got the crooked bakers. Why? How come only Boulder and Larimer have the evil food service employees?
That must really work out for like Halloween time.
Ooh, the crooked bakers. It doesn't even rhyme. It's not even alliterative at all.